speaker, please get your phones out and a very warm welcome for Asa from the Electronic Intifada!
Hi everyone, my name's Asa Winstanley. I'm a journalist. My trade is words and writings. For the last 20 years it's been my privilege to report on the Palestine Solidarity Movement and how it has resisted the many pressures, restrictions and growing repression it has faced. These dangers are at a higher point than I've ever seen before during my career. I myself have even been raided by the counter-terror police for my journalism, even though my lawyers fought back and the court forced them to give back the computers and phones that they seized from my home. This past weekend at Glastonbury, the BBC made a live stream of one of the stages at its music festival to say it to blank rather than show Kneecap, a band that they knew would lead the crowd in defiant chants of Free, Free Palestine. Instead, they got punk bands, Bob Dylan, leading loud chants of death, death to the IDF. Kneecap also wore a t-shirt reading, "We are all Palestine action." Another act of defiance. Another act of defiance.
I'm not going. See me jumping.
The British state wants to ban Palestine
Remember
action.
your Green Cross
I want
code.
people coming out today to support Palestine action. For the past 5 years, as a reporter, it's been my privilege as a journalist to cover the emergence of Palestine action. And I can say from experience without a doubt that Palestine action is the most effective part of the solidarity movement I've ever seen in Britain. It's not for nothing that the renowned Irish novelist Sally Rooney wrote in The Guardian the other day, quote, "I can only say that I admire and support Palestine action wholeheartedly, and I will continue to, whether that becomes a terrorist offence or not." In my opinion, it's incumbent on all of us to say, I support Palestine action, and we are all Palestine action. In the 18th century, the great English radical and proto-communist Gerard Winstanley wrote this: "Words and writing were all nothing and must die, for action is the life of all, and if thou dost not act, thou dost nothing." Gerard Winstanley put his words into practice, and his name still lives on in the annals of history, and his legacy still haunts the British ruling class. Not all of us who trade in words and writings will be able to say as much. Will the Palestine Solidarity Movement in Britain continue to trade in empty words and phrases, or will they, like you, in Palestine action, actually do something to end the Holocaust of our times taking place right now in the Gaza Strip? Free the Journalism is not a crime. End the genocide. We are all Palestine action. Thank you.
We are all Palestine action! 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 We won't be intimidated! We won't be intimidated! We'll stop till we're liberated! 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 Free, free Palestine! You know that banger though. I'm just tapping my scotch when I do this. You know that banger. I'm gonna let brother headline this. Are you ready?
Not yet.
Not yet. John, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Death, death, death to the IDF! Death, death to the IDF!
When I saw it, it did tickle me, I'm not gonna lie. It was very, very funny. And the initial videos that we saw were of him saying death, death to the IOF. But he actually said a lot more than that. And there were videos circling after what were very, very interesting. He spoke about the occupation. So it wasn't just that chant, even though that chant did the headliner. But I wish you would have just remixed it slightly. Because death, death to the IOF. Got a bit more of a ring to it than the IDF, right?
Yeah.
Death! Death to the IOF!
Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death! Death to the IOF! Death!
About the move towards prescription and about the use of counter-terrorism powers against the Filton 18. A week ago, I might have described that as the weaponization of counter-terrorism powers. But these made-up laws aren't something which is being weaponized. They do not need to be used and twisted by cruel politicians against our loved ones. They were drafted and came into purpose only for this reason. Kessa wrote that as a 20-year-old girl who wants nothing more than to go home, I am anxious and that this is only right. Even Moses, a great prophet, was scared when he was tasked with confronting the biggest oppressor of him. So I'm pretty sure that we're allowed to feel fear and that this is only human. But what we must remember is that the only thing that always has been and always will be clear through all of this uncertainty is our cause. The most just, our beloved Palestine, our collective humanity and our inescapable duty to justice. Because somewhere in Gaza, there is a 20-year-old girl just like her waiting to return home. And somewhere in Ramallah there was a 19-year-old girl just like her open. That somehow I do her some kind of justice by thinking of her. Kessa has a home to return to. She has a life to return to. She has us, her sisters, to return to. And every time I go through the complexities of my day, the small, difficult moments, the stresses and the feeling of missing her, I'm reminded that all of them feel this, but tenfold. Kessa speaks to me of how they target her and how they intend to break her spirit, how they intend to compromise her moral conviction. Today in court they are claiming that they will hear the defences of the Filton 18, and this is a lie. To this, Kessa wrote and asked me to share, I don't understand how they can make us swear on our holy book to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, but then rule out the truth as a legitimate defence. The truth is that we dismantled weapons to save the lives of Palestinian children. But this is the one thing in court that they won't let them say. In times of abuse on truth, I find comfort in Surah that asks each other to patience. Allah establishes for us the infinite bond between truth and time. That truth has always been a matter of time. That truth is not one event which will come and go, but a destination and a state of being that our patience will deliver us to. That truth can only come with patience, because Allah knew of the way in which this dunya will abuse truth, would torture and oppress and imprison and try to silence truth. Truth is advised to us before patience, because you will only ever need to demonstrate patience if you choose to live a life of truth. So I will hold on to our truth with great patience until the day where the embodiment of truth itself, al-haq, will be inescapable. Allah knows when that day will come, but we, us, are accountable right here and right now for our actions every single day until then. The Filton 18 shouldn't just make us proud. They aren't our heroes, they are our family. Their lives were just as complex as our own are. They had just as much to lose as we all do. And they demand more than solidarity. Because being here today and persisting isn't actually something which is justified. It is something which is ours, yours and mine, our responsibility. Someone left a comment on the last statement that Tessa put out. They wrote about Simone, her steadfastness, not her inability to feel fear or worry or hesitation, but rather her ability to overcome and override that, to be driven by her purpose. And as she repeats to me, I'd like to repeat to you, let her help her. Do not be afraid.
Introduce to you the mum for one of the Filton 18. Please make some noise for Anne.
Walaikum assalam. Peace be upon all of you. Thank you so much for being here. It makes such a difference for us, the family, for the Filton 18 inside. As I always say, it makes them keep them going. Thanks to your support. They always ask, what is happening outside? Is the movement carrying on? Are people standing up for justice and for Palestine? So thank you, really. The Filton 18 is a stunning example of the abuse of power of the British state and its judicial system against its own citizens. By using and abusing the counter-terrorism law, this country is denying its citizens their democratic rights. My daughter Zara is going to spend 18 months in prison before her trial. This time away from her family and friend will never come back. This her life will stay as a scar during all her life. Due to an arbitrary terrorism connection attached to their case, the Filton 18 have been held in custody longer than usual. They were denied bail. They will be kept on remand in prison for up to 18 months. And today they have to fight in court to be allowed to explain their defense to the jury at their trial. A democratic right one would have assumed to be obvious. So today as well, the government is also trying to ban Palestine action so that we see that our civil liberties and democratic values are being attacked with a dubious and abusive interpretation of the law.
Shame!
Our so-called democratic country is clearly falling into despotism and fascism. When we are all horrified by the abuse of power and murder of innocent people across the world, we must understand as the Nigerian musician Seun Kuti said, that if we want to free Gaza, if we want to free Congo, if we want to free Sudan, we must free Europe from despotism, fascism, So free the Filton 18, hands off Palestine action, free Palestine, free Congo and free Sudan and all of us.
We've got another family member for you now, an absolute legend who I'm guaranteed is probably going to make you laugh and or cry, maybe both, hopefully both. Please make some noise for the legend that is Emma. Legend, but yeah, if I can make you laugh, then that's a good thing. Well, I was going to start with what a difference a day makes. You know, each day, but let me start with Cairo. As you all know, those who've been listening to what I've got to say, I wasn't aware of what was going on in Palestine because I gave up my TV 4 or 5 years ago. But because of what's happened to the Filton 18, I am now following. I've even got an Instagram account. I've actually spent thousands of pounds in my business trying to get a following for my business page, Yada. But in a week, wow. All you got to do is do something radical. In following them, I've had to watch the atrocities unfold on my phone too. So I've had an insight into what drove them to do what they did, allegedly. And I felt that I had to do something because every day is so dark. And when the global march to Gaza came, I decided I was going to go and I was going to walk in honour of them and I was going to walk in Ellie's shoes. I bought this for the desert, but I never got it out because we never got there. But while I was there, I had the pleasure of meeting thank you. Nelson Mandela's grandson. First of all, no, I'm jumping, sorry, look at me, I'm not even reading from a script now, I used to.
You're amazing.
Professional! The difference a day makes was what I meant. When I got to Cairo, it felt, well, there were police on every single corner, army, and at first I thought that was for us. But it isn't, that's their daily occurrence. It was the plainclothes detectives that were there for us. And I'm sure you've heard what happened, but I can remember distinctly with my lovely Welsh nurse friend who's gone more viral. I can remember saying to him, God, this is us in Britain in a couple of years. And yet, it was only 2 weeks ago, and that's what I meant when I said the difference a day makes. I've been saying that we're wandering blindly into a dictatorship, but it feels right now in one day that we are being frog-marched into a dictatorship. This is not about the Filton 18, this is not even about Palestine action, this is about every single one of you. And if we don't stand up now, then we best get ready to just suck it up and be told what to do. I'll quote the Nuremberg trials for our lovely friendly officers here today, and I don't mean that sarcastically, I do think they have been so far so good. But following orders is not an acceptable excuse, and it takes every single one of us to stand up and fight back in the dictatorship. I used to be a nurse, and I do believe my Welsh friend nurse actually gave up nursing because of being told what to do against his medical, whatever the word is.
Absolutely.
So then I skipped to Nelson Mandela's grandson. First of all, I'm hugely embarrassed to say that he said he was banned from this country. He was not allowed. I'm absolutely absolutely mortified to call myself British.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
But
All of us.
I was speaking to him and I asked, could we have a chat, could we have an interview, and he said, not now, let's do it at the Raqqa border, and of course that never came. But I've been thinking about him and his grandfather since, and you know, Nelson Mandela went from political prisoner to the President of South Africa.
Yep.
He got 18 political prisoners in there with a strong moral compass, with bills like steel, and I'm looking forward to how they are going to change this country when they get out.
Wait a second. So, a year ago on the national demo we started a chant, and it was for Richie Sunak.
I stand here to address all family, friends, comrades, and all those who carry justice in their hearts. Today, we are gathered outside a court that calls itself a place of law, but inside they are attempting to criminalize courage, to criminalize a duty to stop the massacre of the Palestinian people. Shame! They are attempting to put conscience on trial. Shame! Inside of this building, 18 brave people, the Filton 18, are facing the full weight of a state that does not hold an ounce of humanity, an ounce of democracy, or a shred of human rights. A state that silences dissent and resistance, a state that would rather jail people of conscience than confront its role in genocide. Shame! For months now, they've been held on remand without standing trial for taking action against the machinery of death, for targeting the very companies and systems that arm the Zionist entity's brutal occupation and assault on Gaza and Palestine. Shame! These activists took a stand where governments have failed and remained complicit. They acted where others hesitated, and for that they were thrown into prison. Shame! We are here to say that they do not stand alone. Every day they have spent behind bars. They have exposed the hypocrisy of the British so-called justice system. Every day they attempt to silence them, but their voices have echoed louder outside these walls. And every minute they have endured this injustice from inside prison. They have reminded us that we are not free until all of us are free. This hearing today is crucial, not just for the Filton 18, but for all of us. Because make no mistake, this is not just a trial about property or protest. This is a political prosecution. This is about attempting to punish those who dared to interrupt the status quo, to interrupt business as usual, business that profits off of displacement, of ethnic cleansing, of Palestinian blood. So I stand here today and I ask, what is terrorism? Is it throwing paint on a weapons factory gate? Is it dismantling deadly drones to surveillance and kill Palestinians in their hundreds of thousands? Is it? No. Is it brave activists upholding international law by shutting down these factories and putting them out of commission?
Yes.
Or refugee camps, hospitals and schools in Gaza? Is it denying food, water and electricity to Palestinians, or is it renewing arms licenses and pouring money into these arms? Who are the real terrorists? The brave activists who dare to take a stand against the murderous status quo of the state, or the Zionist entity that bombs Palestinians on a daily and calls it so-called defense? The UK government under Keir Starmer and before him Sunak and Johnson that arms the Zionist entity, defends them and lies for them in Parliament. Shame! Shame! They want to call it Operation Recompliance, but this is what we have to say. With every strength, with every ounce of strength we have, we will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply with a system that criminalizes solidarity and direct action to stop genocide. We will not comply with laws that defend profit over people. We will not comply with a state that supports occupation and then dares to cage those who oppose it. Shame! Shame! The Filton 18 and all of Palestine Action are being punished for doing what governments refuse to do: interrupt genocide. Their actions are not terrorism. Their actions are the bare minimum of our humanity. We are told that this is a democracy. When my family and I came here from Egypt, we were told that this was a democracy. But yet, when families of the Filton 18 try to speak, they are silenced. When a daughter and sister like Shams watches her father suffer in prison, his eyesight failing as he visits his son Cameron for the first time and in months and months, she is told to wait. Her father is told to wait, to stay quiet, to obey the so-called law as her brother is put through hell, as she is denied access to the court. When Claire, Zoe's mom, has to spend her birthday and her daughter's birthday without seeing each other, when Brogan and Stephen are denied access to their brother and son Jordan, when Sukaina and Anne and their families and friends had to spend Ramadan without Fatima, Zainab and Anne, when Kessa had to spend Ramadan without her loved ones, when Ellie and her mother Emma are separated, when Will is behind bars but should be planning his wedding, when Sean should be out with his 8-year-old son, when T, Alex, Hiba, Yulia, Lottie, Ian, Hannah, Sam and Maddie experience all of this injustice inside of these prison walls. Shame! This is all part of the imperialist nature of the state and the West in its purest form. They arm the massacres abroad and they enforce it here in the heart of colonialism. Whether it's in Palestine or in Filton in Bristol, the same system that is contributing to the destruction of Gaza tries to destroy resistance. But as long as this state is arming genocide, they will be met with resistance. They have been cracking down on our rights for years. Protest laws, policing bills, surveillance, raiding homes. They are dismantling their so-called fallacy of a democracy brick by brick because they are terrified of what the masses, of what us, the people, could build in its place. And they want us to believe we are powerless, that we are enslaved to the system, that we are irrelevant. But that will never ever happen because the masses are the ones that will rise up. The masses are the ones that hold all the power. To the Filton 18 and Palestine Action, your courage has inspired a movement. Your resistance has cut through the lies. You are prisoners of conscience and we will fight with you until you are free. Our demands are simple. Drop the charges, free the Filton 18 and end UK complicity in genocide by any means necessary. We are not afraid. We will never be afraid. We will not back down. We are louder, we are the majority, we are stronger, and we are not going anywhere. We are the masses, and as students, as workers, as organizers, to all the families and friends, we are the real decision makers, and they are the ones afraid of us. They are afraid of our love for Palestine. They are afraid of our solidarity, of our fire, of our fight, and they are afraid of our actions against this Western imperialism and the illegal settler colonial entity. Why else do they try so hard to break our spirits? They are losing and they know it. The Zionist entity is crumbling as we speak, and so is Western imperialism. They see the images from Gaza, they see the defiance in Rafah, the bravery in Jenin. They see the strength of the Palestinian people and what we learn from them. They see that even though there are massacres, our martyrs still live on, and we are carrying their legacy wherever we go. They know that the 81-year-old grandfather expelled in 1948 remains resilient as he assures that he will return, and says, if not me, then my son, and if not my son, then my grandson. They see the awareness rising on campuses, in streets, in every corner of the world. They see the threat Palestine Action poses to them as they continue to break the machinery of genocide. And they are scared of the sumud, of the steadfastness of Palestine, because it is contagious. They see that our solidarity and our fight will never waver as we demand a free Palestine and total liberation, not just for Gaza and the West Bank, but for the occupied 48 region, because when we say free Palestine, we mean from the river to the sea.
Hi, my name is Brogan, and my brother Jordan Devlin is one of the Filton 18. My brother has been in prison without trial for almost a year now. We come from the north of Ireland, so we are no stranger to being wrongly labelled a terrorist by the British government. We've been here before. During the 70s, 80s and 90s, we were called terrorists and labelled a suspect community for protesting in occupied Ireland. Now, in 2025, my brother sits in his cell being called a terrorist for protesting in occupied Palestine. Jordan said, the risk of months in prison pales in comparison to the despair suffered from witnessing the horrors of assistance facilitates. The sense of wrong and right is black and white in this instance. So I am honoured to take this opportunity in crafting a world I want to live in, to destroy completely the blatant evils in society we've all been lulled into ignoring. Jordan acted to stop terrorism by dismantling weapons that were destined to pierce through a Palestinian child's body. Terrorists make bombs to destroy lives, not destroy bombs to save lives. These activists done what our government should be doing. The UK government, how dare you call me a terrorist while you profit from the mass murder and bombing of an entire population? How dare you call me a terrorist while you train soldiers to annihilate the people of Palestine? How dare you call me a terrorist while you provide war criminals with weapons of mass destruction? The word terrorist has lost its meaning now. The British government have abused the Terrorism Act to the point that it is no longer fit for purpose. The watering down of the word terrorist is more of a threat to public safety than Palestine Action ever was. The public does not fear the spray painters in the red boiler suit. The public fears a government more willing to protect the interests of an Israeli arms manufacturer over its own citizens. The UK government are beyond complicit in this genocide. They are active participants and have been terrorising Palestinians, so how dare they call us the terrorists? In 10 years' time, they will say that they were wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if the Filton 18 were up for a peace prize in 10 years' time. 10 years is too late. We want a free Palestine now. We want a free Filton 18 now.
Say it clear and say it loud! Say it clear and say it loud! Filton 18, you make us proud! Filton 18, you make us proud! Say it clear and say it loud! Say it clear and say it loud! Filton 18, you make us proud! Filton 18, you make us proud! If any of the other family members who wanted to speak can head towards me, because I can't see anything because the sun's melted my eyes, that would be really helpful. But for now, let's do some more shouting.
At a maximum security prison. Here, her 19-year-old self would soon be categorized as high risk. Shame. If I wasn't so scared of what was to come, I would have laughed. Kessler is around 5 feet tall. She is scared of the water, of insects, of dogs, of cats, of airplanes. She thinks that each seat on an airplane should have a seat. Oh wait, no, not a seatbelt. A seatbelt and a parachute, just in case. Over the summer, a few of us tried to teach Kessler how to swim. It took us an hour to convince her to go into like ankle-length water, and then another hour to get to her knees. This is the person that our government is so scared of. Little Miss 5 foot, 19, now 20-year-old girl in her baggy pants that she accidentally dyed purple. The reality is that this government is scared of Kessler's empathy. They're scared of her love, of her humanity. They are so terrified that her unwavering love for life will expose their commitment to profiting off of death. Kessler always tells our little family that our love must always outweigh our hate. In everything that we fight for, we must do it for the love we have for life, for liberation, and for justice. Love is what fuels Kessler, and because of this, even when trapped in her small prison cell, she has held on to hope. But she has also never failed to remind us that every ounce of hope that she has comes from the Palestinian people. It is their love for life, for their land, and for their unwavering faith that sustains her. They teach us that we can never lose hope because despair is a tool of the oppressor. Kessler and every single Filton 18 member is being punished for their profound empathy. Not the type of empathy that tells the Palestinian people, I'm sorry you're suffering, or begs for our government to end their suffering. No, their empathy makes them look at our government's immorality as a sign that justice is up to the people to uphold. That the people must decide whether the UK can continue supplying Israel with the necessary machinery used to enact genocide. The Filton 18 case exemplifies to us that there is nothing peaceful about waiting for our government to ship the quadcopters used to murder Palestinians day in and day out. But despite their actions being viewed as heroic to many, Kessler and many of the other Filton 18 will always reject this title. Because she insists that there is nothing distinguishing her from you. Now what the Filton 18 are alleged of doing, everybody has the ability to do. And even now, Kessler thinks not of her own imprisonment, but of those she believes she has not done enough for. She talks to me about the guilt she feels for even wanting to be unlocked from her cell, while kidnapped and jailed Palestinians have no guarantee that they will ever taste freedom. Kessler's empathy knows no bounds.
She believes in the power of our collective actions and that we hold the key to our own liberation. Most of all, she believes that our liberation is fundamentally tied to the liberation of the Palestinian people. So whatever you do today, and whatever you do tomorrow, and the day after that, fight with everything you have left in you. Organize, mobilize, and recognize our duty to each other. And above and despite it all, Kesser will be the first to tell you that the only thing we have to lose is our humanity. Free, free, Palestine! Free, free, Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the sea to the river! Palestine will be free! Free, free, Palestine! Free, free, Palestine! People are occupied! People are occupied! Resistance is justified! People are occupied! Resistance is justified!
With the boards facing forward. However, when we sit down, they need to be facing backwards. So we're going to turn around so that our backs will be to the court and the boards will be to where people can see them. Yeah. We've got one banner that says Free Political Prisoners, which will be right at the court gate, and that will be kind of behind.
Possibly on the Defend Our Juries website.
Oh, just on yours.
How long have you lived in Pakistan?
3 years.
3 years. Not like 30. So, yeah, anyway.
Sizable length of time.
Yes.
Hey, Pangolin. Hey, Pangolin. They wouldn't be. Well, they can negotiate. Yeah.
I was really upset and couldn't contain myself from crying when usually I never cry about anything. The next day I had a really important biology mock exam, but I didn't go to school or take it as I was really distressed by the news and couldn't physically bring myself to going. My sister is one of the most important people in my life and the only woman, as our mother had passed away when I was young. So my sister would always look after me and take me out, and without a doubt she would never fail to make me smile. And now they have taken the most important person away from me. My brothers reassured me, telling me not to worry and that she would get bail and be out soon, but she never did. And now it's been 7 months that she's been in prison on remand, awaiting trial. which is due to take place in April 2026. For the other 10 next month will mark 1 year of imprisonment. This is state abuse.
It is state abuse.
State abuse. There's nothing I can do apart from showing her my support and keeping her and the rest of the Filton 18 in my du'as. And when I can, I pray to Hajj for her and the other 17, praying that they will be released and that they are okay and remain as strong as possible, as prison is really tough. I often overthink about how my sister is doing, as she's really good at hiding her emotions and keeping to herself. So if I notice a slight change in her tone when she rings me, it makes me feel anxious and worried about her, because I really want her to be okay. I want her to know that I'm always here for her. Her imprisonment reminds me of the Palestinians, as their families are being torn apart. Children are being stripped away from their childhood. Children, men and women are being denied their human rights. They are being starved to death.
Thanks, Donna.
I've seen on social media people saying that killing children is normal and it always happens during the war. But this is not a war, it's a clear genocide. And killing children should never be normal. The Filton 18 are accused of direct action that stopped weapons from being used against the Palestinians. I don't understand how people are normalised killing innocents. I'll say it with chest, you absolutely have no humanity within you if you think it's normal to kill innocents. Furthermore, free Palestine and free the Filton 18. And now I would like to read a poem that my sister wrote, Adjusting to Being Called a Terrorist. How can we terrorize a machine only the devil could have made? He says David's boy's slingshot aimed at Goliath's tank is criminal, but the opposite is justified. Goliath drops bombs on paper tanks, leaving displaced David choking on his brother's vaporized existence. A brother who'd been his mother, his father, his sister, his applause on birthdays, his piggyback ride after his first school crush heartbreak, his pocket money for a Man U t-shirt, his reminder to play cowboys and spaceships, to think boyish thoughts like, why do zebras have stripes? His waker upper for prayers, to catch God's daily descent to the lower sky. The last person left to hug, his push to plant sunflowers, to dream big, even though occupation shut down his own dreams and legs. This brother who'd love heavier than all galaxies combined, stronger than the current of 1,000 butterflies, is now a clump of burning ash in David's small, lonely hand. His boy's response is to collect every cindery suggestion of a human, his joy, now his agony, to be carried around in his school bag. So, how can we terrorize the devil who upgraded the gas chamber?
Filton 18! Free the Filton 18! Free the Filton 18! Free the Filton 18! Free the Filton 18!
Outside, we're going to do a roll call of the Filton 18 again to show them all individually some love. Are you ready? So I'm going to repeat the names after me. Don't say Filton 18, this is the name I'm saying. There's 18 and I'm getting hot and tired, so I need your help. You ready? Yes! Woo! Okay. Say it clear and say it loud! Say it clear and say it loud! Some of you make us proud! Make us proud! Say it clear and say it loud! Say it clear and say it loud! You make us proud! Say it, you make us proud! Say it clear and say it loud! Say it clear and say it loud! Annie, you make us proud! Annie, you make us proud! Say it clear and say it loud! Say it clear and say it
لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة
Hi, I've just arrived. Do you want me to just see if things kick off?
Just film what the action.
Watch your back.
So watch back.
With the police guarding the gate, they just want to confirm that I haven't brought my paperwork.
Yes, hello. Sorry, you can't go through it.
I've got jury service. Have I got to wait? You've got a letter?
Yes, hang on a second. You've got a letter. Sorry. Can you go again? Yes. That's fine. That's good. Unfortunately, we can't remember what's going on. Just give me a second. Can you pull your... Right. Can you just use this one to make sure you know you're here? Especially send it to the That's fine.
know you've got other things to do.
Because we've got a lot of newcomers from this morning. So we switched it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not occupation no more. It's guards up at the prison door. 5, 6, 7, 8. Smash the Zionist settler state. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Louder than that, louder than that. Master Zionist settler state. Let's run it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Master Zionist settler state. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Master Zionist settler state. 5, 6, 7, 8. Master Zionist settler state.
لن ترضى عن نشاطات لكشف التي ترتكبها إسرائيل وتواطؤها.
They are belly dancers. They only eat cart.
Slightly come back just a little bit. Let's help our colleague, please. Take a legal offence.
Back police, shame, shame! Back police, shame, shame!
Back police, shame, shame!
Back police is IDF!
The police is IDF!
Let them go! 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 will win. I believe that we 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 will win. Whoa!
There's a single mother who needs to go and pick her kid up, so let's make sure we open the gate. Let him go, yeah.
Oh yeah. Was it a DRS? Was it a DRS? 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 DRS, there we go. DRS, all right, mate.
So we're going to be causing up trouble, but next time leave the door unlocked, yeah? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. Keep following.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Who are we?